series. This is going to be the start of episode 4. It's been a few days since I played, so I'm just kind of going through and refamiliarizing myself with my pawns and checking stats and looking at our crop growth. Looks like our first potato harvest is about to begin. Checking out all the mood buffs, debuffs right now. Room impressiveness. I do want to go ahead and try to get some more value added to our shared room right now. I do want to wait to build an end table at the moment, for the moment. I'm not worried about comfort level. I'm going to go ahead and start getting up a perimeter wall so we can focus on funneling our raiders into a controlled, I don't want to call it a kill box quite yet. We will eventually have a kill box, but for the time being, I do want to kind of be able to control the path of raiders. Because I am sitting pretty flush on cut blocks at the moment. So it's a good opportunity now in the early game to just get up some good defenses. And certainly a table. We can easily counteract the mood debuff of eating without a table. And I'm looking for stools. Oh, there it is. We are still having a bit of a food issue, and it looks like our potato plants are ready to harvest. But I have queued up a few too many things for Ron Felix there. As you can see, Chen and Felix are both building right away. So now at the very least, raiders won't be able to come directly down. And there we go, that's officially our first harvest of potatoes. We're going to go ahead and be able to craft up a couple simple meals from those potatoes. And get our fields plotted. Let's see, Chen, what are you up to currently at the moment? You don't have any active tasks. And your crafting skill is decent. Okay, we are still researching batteries. I do want to go ahead and enclose us in. So let's go ahead and put in a couple walls, some pathways, or some doors so we can go in and out of our base that direction. And I'm thinking if I can enclose in this side and have the raiders path through the spike traps, that will be probably the best course of action. Yeah, something like that. Oh, I forgot a door down here. I don't want a steel door, I want to save my steel, so let's make it a stone door. mean, the last thing I really want to have happen is that a predator on the map, there's not a lot of wildlife, and so if a predator on the map gets hungry, we are on the food chain. So hopefully a predator would be forced to walk through our spike traps prior to gaining access to any of our pawns. Oh, and I forgot to enable automatic rebuild in home zone. That's normally one thing that I just kind of enable at the start of every playthrough. And we have an Aurora. And looks like the Empire mod is still asking us to set traits. And how do you open that again? Nope, that's factions. Okay, here's traits. So what are some of these? Reduce penalty, prosperity loss by 50% when attacked, cannot lose buildings, increase the value of loot by 20% when raiding, military forces are available 1 day sooner. Military forces receive a +2 level bonus to combat when defending. That's pretty good. Industrious, 5% chance every time a settlement is built to receive significant more. Road builders. I think you have to research the road builders. Versatile. A random trade caravan shows up every 3 to 5 days. That's pretty good. And innovative. Passively generate research points equal to 5%. I don't know. Raiders is good, but I think I'm gonna go, yeah, the defensive option, especially for the get-go. What does it cost to create a new? Oh, okay. We can customize our faction. I wish there was a randomize button here, so I don't have to think of something on the fly. Let's see here. Well, Empire of War. Name it after the playthrough, might as well. And let's just change our emblem if there's any good default emblems. Honestly, none are really jumping out to me. Lifted. Liberation. Allowed races all. That's fine. And so let's see. These traits here. Slaver trait. Max workers. This one here is good for military. I think military buildings cost less. And when you create a new settlement, you start with a barracks. You can enslave members if you send raids against enemies. And you can use silver to increase loyalty. This isn't bad. You get a 10% base tax increase, and the cost to create new settlements is increased, doubled. Tithes are increased. Pacifist. Reduce base tax to increase happiness and prosperity. And your first settlement is free, and once a year you can get a reduced price on new settlements and all settlements start at level 2. So I'm going to pick that one and the military one. So if I believe that allows us to create our first colony for free. Now let's see here. We got a couple different biomes right next to us. Oh, I gotta move the map preview out of the way here. So there's base values, and then there's a modifier multiplier for what each tile provides. So these different emblems here, like that one is for manufacturing weapons, but there's wildlife, animal, taming and harvesting, there's wood cutting, there's mining, there's research, there's um, energy production, medicine production, food production. There's a lot of different things that these. I guess my point is what you want to do is you want to find. Yeah, see, so here weapons. On this tile, weapons have a base of 1.5 and a ×1 modifier. So what you want to end up doing is you want to find something and kind of something that map is good to have a colony on, and then kind of deck out that entire colony with supporting buildings. So we're going to settle pretty close to us initially, and I am looking at a mining outpost, something that's going to produce us a lot of silver. So what happens is these colonies do work for us and then send us the profit. And with that profit, we'll be able to buy more colonies, have some military colonies to protect ourselves from incoming raids, not only our main faction base here, but our other colonies. And then eventually, once the silver income production goes up, we can start to tithe the colonies. And so instead of selling what they produce, they can give us the raw resource, if that's medicine, food, power, mining materials, weapons, whatever they're creating, they just give directly to our main colony base. Hoping to get these walls finished off rather quickly because we haven't had a raid in a little while, if I remember correctly. Heat stroke. We need some different clothing. Excellent. Marriage is on. So Felix and Chen are going to get married. And our first settlement has been formed. Phenomenal. So we're going to go ahead and open this up. And so one of our traits is we start immediately with a military building. And so as you assign more workers to a given task, so for example, if weapons here, up at the top it shows income and then the cost to upkeep, and then total profit. And what we want to do early on is we want to maximize the amount of profit so we can build buildings. And as you can see here, if I max it out, I actually lose out on some money because I don't have all the supporting buildings for a mining colony. So I want to just play with this for a little bit and find out what the maximum profit I can get right out the gate. And even though I am going to be turning that colony into a mining colony, it is more efficient for me to have them make and sell weapons for me. That'll give me 400 silver profit each billing cycle, which I believe is every 5 days. Well, we did not seem to get that last wall finished. But that's okay, we haven't gotten a raid yet. Once this last wall gets up, and you know what, I should probably just harvest this tree, get some wood stockpiled in. And we do need to get power up and running, so let's see what the power situation will look like. If I put one wind turbine there, and I think I can put a second one there, I think that's a pretty good spread. I'm not sure about the overlap, if they have to be one cell apart or they can be just right up edge to edge when they're facing each other. Because the last thing I want to do is spend the steel and the components to build a wind turbine, then find out got it placed incorrectly and they block each other both. Alright, let's get that door torn down so that any raiders have a direct path right on into our base, so they don't target our walls. And Chen is restocking up on our cut blocks, and I am going to put a stool out in the open. Raiders like to path to furniture and tamed animals, so by having that stool right outside the butcher spot, they're going to come wheeling right on in trying to destroy my stool, and that should draw them right through my 2 spike traps. So we still are low on food. I'm just checking to see if we have any meals in our inventory. So we don't have a lot of wildlife to go hunt. And I want to be very careful about these 2 lions down here, because I don't think we could take on a lion, but this ostrich, this dead ostrich, is something that we might be able to get in. Let's see, full health, or full food meter, and this other lion. You know what, let's try to go grab this ostrich. And you know what, Chen? I don't want you going to bed. I want you to go ahead and butcher this and cook up a couple meals. And I should have stopped her from eating raw meat, because I cannot really afford food poisoning at the moment. And so the butcher spot does not give it gives kind of a reduction on the amount of materials, the leather and the meat harvested, so I do want to get a butcher's table up and going relatively quickly. And that should help counteract help a little bit counteract our food consumption by getting more meat out of butchered animals. We got a couple visitors, nothing to trade here, but let's see. Even if they were good, I don't think I want to try to arrest any of them. I mean, this pawn's pretty good. The alcohol addiction would be really annoying to kind of take care of at this point. Not bad traits. But yeah, that alcohol addiction. Good mining, good cooking, good medical, artistic. We're going to go ahead and try to get some of that steel mined out so that we can build that butcher table and the wind turbine. Let's place it right there. I want to get my bills copied over from the butcher spot, so I don't want to remove the butcher spot quite yet. And just checking out comfortable temperature right now. Let's see, so if we copy and paste, there we go. And let's move that. Perfect. So hostile force spotted in 0.3 days, so we're going to be getting a raid shortly. It's a good thing we got those walls up. One thing that I don't think I've done yet is set up kind of a base safe zone. Let's go ahead and get something generated for the time being. I think that'll suffice. And one of my mods gives me a danger. Here's the menu. I was looking for the menu for this. You can set up different schedules so that it's really convenient. Once a raid comes on the map, you can, over in the lower right corner, you can hit the little alarm siren, and it just defaults to certain different sets of schedules or assignments or work priorities. And it's been a while since I've used this mod. I'm just trying to remember how to set it up. So we do want during our normal time. So we want to change our schedule and call it safe. And so yeah, during an emergency, we want to switch our schedule over to safe because that gives our allowed area of area 1. And we don't have any animals yet, but I might as well get something set up for animals in the future. All right. Okay, so we set it, and okay, that looks like that's working. I always seem to have problems setting that up initially. There's something about it, just the toggle function doesn't work quite right the first couple times, and I always have to go back and verify it. But I'm sitting here wondering how that lion died. And it looks like no immediate danger on that lion, but I gotta say that dead lioness was ample timing. I'm gonna cook up a couple meals. We got some visitors coming in, and they do have something to trade, so we'll go take a look. I forgot Chen doesn't have any social. We can sell off some of this stuff that we're not going to use. There we go. And 13 silver isn't great. And I am going to try to buy 1 medicine here. I am concerned about getting a disease and not having proper medicine to treat it. Or any medicine. Alright, so looks like that raid finally came in. I'm taking a look at it. It looks like it's a single enemy. Bloodlust trait. Okay, so clicking, turning that on, when enemies are in the area, should auto set our priorities, but as you can see, the active policy changes, but for some reason I can't. As I mentioned earlier, I seem to always have a little bit of a difficulty to get this set up the first go around. Okay, so the schedules are set both to safe for animals and schedule. Okay, let's play. So change that, turn it off, turn it back on, and that didn't work. I guess some trial and error is required, but I mean, I do have this set up, from what I can tell, correctly. So let's rename our area 1 to safe. All right, we'll figure out the emergency priority here in a little bit. So we turn it off, turn it on, and see, now it's working. Okay, so our raider hit our first spike trap and immediately went down. And we got a gift of 2 components. Nothing overly exciting that this pawn's wearing, but we'll still strip him, and we're not going to recruit him yet because I mean, food's still a pretty significant issue for us. Trying to power through to get to through batteries and into hydroponics. And we got 2 days worth of food in storage. Well, I think this is a good spot to go ahead and end our episode, and we'll pick it up shortly in the next episode.